Welcome to round 4 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of January 4th. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Nicole Eridix.
Hi there.
As moms of teens and young adults, we've survived those little kid days, yet we're still rethinking the decisions we've made all through our kids' lives and worrying about what's going on right now. Today's Thursday, which means it's time to give in to our obsessing. And today we're obsessing about how 2020 went and what we're hoping for in 2021. So back in January of 2020, when we were all very, very innocent, we recorded an episode about what we were looking forward to in the new year. And like everyone else in the world, we were entirely thwarted pretty much in those things. But we thought we would take a quick look back at that and then talk about how we might look ahead to 2021 if we can do so in a safe way that does not jinx anything. I know for me...
Let's listen to what Catherine thought she was going to be doing in 2020.
Well, you know, I think the thing that is definitely looming the largest is both exciting and something to dread, which is that my daughter will be going to college. Yay. And, you know, barring some huge change of mind, she will definitely be going out of state.
Wow.
So we, it's going to be a big new thing. It'll be interesting. You know, I'm very excited for her. I'm excited to be, retiring from some of my jobs that I do that are related to all of her activities. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's definitely the biggest thing that's going to happen for our family in 2020, I think.
Yeah, lots of changes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. One of the main thing that I talked about was the fact that my daughter was going off to college. And so that was fraught with a lot of uncertainty for many, many months.
Yeah.
You know, first she had to decide where she was going to go. And she did. And then, of course, the pandemic happened and she wasn't able to do a lot of things like trying out for the team and all of her senior year stuff got ruined. And then, you know, up until basically the day we left to bring her to school, I was not sure if we were if she was going to go in person. But she eventually did. And it was pretty rough start. You know, the first month or so, there was a lot of worrying about being exposed to COVID, and she was all alone most of the time because she couldn't practice with her team. She didn't have a roommate. Most of her classes, all but one of her classes, were virtual. So it was a really difficult start. But after about the first 5-6 weeks, it did improve quite a bit, and she got a roommate, and she was able to start practicing with her team. So that all ended up working out fairly well. And so for 2021, I definitely look forward to her being able to continue to have a college experience that starts to become more and more normal. You know, and another thing that I talked about looking forward to in 2020 was retiring from a lot of my volunteer jobs that had to do with her skating. And boy, that happened.
Not quite the way you thought, but
it happened very abruptly. Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to her skating in college, and that would be like a nice transition period for me, so that I was still able to go to competitions, but just be there to watch and enjoy, instead of having to order food for 100 people all the time. So yeah, that didn't happen. And I definitely look forward to that in 2021, probably not in the first half of the year, being able to see her compete in person, but maybe in the fall. I'm really hopeful that I'll be able to do that. So I'm looking forward to that in 2021. And I'm looking forward to my son going back to school in person full time. We'll see how much of that happens in the spring. But certainly by the fall, I would expect that to be fairly back to normal. So there we are. How about you, Terry? What was it that you looked forward to?
Let's listen to what Terry thought she was going to be doing in 2020.
I'm looking forward to just really a continuation of the way our lives have been going lately. I would be just happy to keep things going. Things have been pretty good on the work front for everybody, and I'm trying to be calmer, and at least for the moment, I am doing it. And I'm trying to keep things in perspective and not get up all in everybody's business. I would like that to continue. If it just continued the way it is right at the moment, I think that'd be fine. I'm going to try not to get all upset. I mean, as we talked in the resolutions, I look forward to just keeping on. I purchased from the shop Forward a gratitude journal, which is very cute, and I am hoping that I will do that and kind of try to keep things I'm grateful for more in my headlights than things I am stressed over and worried about. I think that would be a very good trend for me. So I'm looking forward to doing that. As we know, my success with journals is such that by the time you're listening to this podcast, I may already have stopped. But I'm looking forward to doing it and to being sincere and focused in doing it, and in doing more meditative prayer and things that will help me to appreciate what is instead of worrying about what might be.
You looked forward to status quo, didn't you?
I looked for the continuation of the way our lives have been going lately. And, compared to a lot of families, that sort of is the way it was. We had some disruption, but it was minimal. I work at home anyway, so my life changed pretty much not at all. My daughter works for what turns out to be an essential service, which is the providing of hamburgers. So her job stayed the same. Both my husband and son were unemployed for a time, but, eventually my husband went back and my son got a different job, which actually is close to home and he's liking very much. So, all in all, we did pretty good. I think we continued the status quo as much as it was possible for the status quo to continue in 2020. We didn't have that much to change. We don't really go out and do much. And so staying in was not that disruptive for us. And I did stay relatively calm. I mean, I think it was easier to stay calm because nothing was going on. I didn't have place to take anybody to. It was just so quiet that, all my little chicks are home. I got nothing to worry about. So that was kind of, facilitated my calmness. Now, of course, I also did look forward to keeping a gratitude journal throughout the year. And that went pretty much exactly as I predicted it would, which is that, maybe a week or two. And then I was done with it. Though I did have a tremendous amount to be grateful for this year. So I did do a lot more meditative prayer. I do feel like I kept the gratitude in the headlights more than the stress. So, but I did not do a very good job at writing it down in this beautiful journal I had purchased, as is my way to purchase beautiful things and then not use them. So, keeping up the status quo there too,
when the sentiment is there, that's a pretty good first step.
Yeah, it was a very kind of low-key year. Fortunately, we were blessed not to have any health problems, although members of our, extended family did. And we were blessed that what employment disruptions we had were not debilitating. So, and my work just raged right on. So I feel kind of bad that I did so well. But, I think my predictions were not so bad, as it turned out.
Awesome.
You guys both had much more going on in the community. I mean, you had senior year of high school, and Nicole, you had a kid in the first year of college, and that is stuff that was just all heartbreaking the way those things went. We were just having our boring regular lives. If my daughter's job had not stayed, that would have been a problem, but it did. So, yay, Wendy's.
Yay.
Keep serving those burgers, baby.
Yeah. So, Nicole, yours, we mentioned a little bit earlier this week, but one of the things you were looking forward to was traveling.
Let's listen to what Nicole thought she was going to be doing in 2020.
I'm looking forward to some new things professionally and looking forward to my son starting his dream career, goal, whatever, starting that process.
Wow.
Even though it means leaving you.
Maybe if he depends, he might have another option that might be closer to home. So,
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking forward to going to Vancouver more because my daughter's up there now, obviously. So I get to go to Vancouver more. So there's some good stuff happening in 2020, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm going to make some trips that I've already got planned. So yeah, just kind of superficially stuff, like, even if that's a word.
Yeah.
Nothing too deep at this point.
So, unfortunately, that didn't go so well.
No, it didn't, because while we can still travel as Canadian citizens, we have a 14-week mandatory quarantine. So,
Yeah.
14 week, 14 day.
days.
What am I talking about? Probably feels like 14 weeks once you're doing it. But a 14-day quarantine. And I don't think that's going to lift anytime soon. So as much as I want to say I want to travel in 2021, I'm not sure that that's going to even happen, at least in the early part of the year. So yeah, so that was kind of sad because my friends and my family are up there. And so just not being able to do that was very limiting. And then of course, just seeing my kids transition to online school. Like, I think, especially for my son, because my daughter had already had a few months of being away, being at university, and then she had to return home. But my son actually started his first year of medical school online, and that's been pretty challenging to do.
Yeah.
So I hope that he has more time with his peers and more time with his professors in person. And because I worry about what that type of environment is going to do for his future as a doctor. So
Yeah, I think we all want him to succeed as a doctor.
Exactly. So yeah, we don't want him to be graduating from Zoom school. His medical degree. So yeah, I think I think about how the year went, and it wasn't all that bad. Like there were lots of really bad things that have happened and a lot of unfortunate and sad events, but then I think that there was some good that came of it too. So yeah, I just hope that we can continue to see the good in what's going on, despite all these things that are happening that we can't control.
And despite our episode where we told people we didn't want to look on the bright side.
Yes.
But sometimes it's okay.
Yeah. You know what? I hope that we can continue to see the good in what's happening around us.
I would like to keep an eye on gratitude. I still have the journal. Many blank pages in it. Maybe I'll pick it back up.
Right?
Yeah.
You can start again.
Certainly there is much to be grateful for. And again, I hope things keep on keeping on, because this job my son has now looks pretty good. I would like that to keep going.
Yeah.
So, and everybody else's job to keep going. And if my husband's job doesn't keep going, then he finds something to do with himself other than watch TV. TV critic. Anybody hiring for TV critics? Maybe you could do a podcast.
There you go.
I would listen.
Yep. He would have very interesting opinions on things. Not the standard fare, I think. Well, that's it for today's Round 4. Tune in tomorrow when we'll share our Roundabout Roundup of things we've been using or enjoying lately that we think deserve a shout-out. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.